Sherdog.com here with Paul Semtex Daley ahead of your Bellator 170 bout with Brennan Ward. Looking at this fight, he likes to strike. We know that you have devastating power. Brennan has talked about in interviews that he has some wrestling ability that you don't have, a wrestling history. He said that could be the difference of the fight. Do you expect him to utilize that early on in the bout?
I don't know about early on, but definitely I think that he will resort to trying to utilize his wrestling. I've been in the game a long time as a striker, especially early on. Before people were well-rounded, I faced a lot of wrestlers of high caliber as well. I like to think that to myself that over the years I've developed a good way of dealing with these wrestlers. It's taken some learning, but I've learned, and I think I'm at a stage now where I'm able to face many top wrestlers.
You have a very long highlight reel. You have power, but it's in unorthodox ways as well. We've seen you land vicious standing elbows and knock people out. You're dangerous in a variety of ways. Do you think Brennan has ever fought anybody like you that possesses the sort of weapons and power that you have?
No, not in the dynamic way that I'm able to finish. I'm very intelligent as well. I know how to set traps, and I would like to consider myself more of a counterpuncher, but people aren't aware of this because I'm able to draw people in quite easily, and I think that is how the fight will go. I think I'll be able to draw Brendan in, especially with his temperament, and I think he's going to get knocked out.
You fought plenty of people that fancy themselves strikers, and then they taste your power, and immediately they're grapplers. What is it like in there landing that punch and seeing your opponent's mindset change? Is it something that gives you joy?
I wouldn't say it gives me joy, but over the years it's become expected. If I land a good shot, 9 times out of 10 that person's going to sleep, and you can see with the way that I react after I finish these guys that for me it's almost a foregone conclusion. I don't even have to look. I can just walk off and go celebrate. So I have that kind of power. Brendan also has that kind of power, so it makes for a very, very interesting fight.
Following your career, we've seen you move through a variety of promotions. Coming up in Europe, Strikeforce, the UFC, now Bellator. What is left for you to prove, Paul?
For me, it's the belt. A belt in one of the major promotions has been elusive. And just to tick off some big names, I fought some pretty big name guys. I've been hit and miss as far as the results are concerned. I'd like to continue to fight marquee names in the closing part of my career and get the victories over them.
Is there any sort of point you want to prove against Brennan Ward on Saturday?
I have nothing to prove over Brendan, really. He's not one of the. He's a great name. He's a great up and coming name, but he's not one of the established or what I would consider to be a marquee name in the sport, but he's very dangerous and more dangerous for that fact, He's hungry. My name's probably a little more established than his, and but it's just another fight for me.
What's the goal here in this new year, 2017?
The new year, just to keep pursuing these big fights. Hopefully they give me another title shot or something like, there's also, you got Rory McDonald, you got Ben Henderson, you got some very interesting names in the mix, and that's what I'm after, the big names and the belts.